Hey guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you're new. This tutorial will show you how to connect your bralette cuffs, and it'll also show you how to add the straps. I know I've had a lot of questions recently on how you can do that, so this is going to show you. So you're going to need your yarn, and you're going to need bralette cuffs. I have a tutorial already up right now of how to make them, so you can go ahead and watch that first if you need, and then come right back to this video so that you can see how to connect them. You'll also need a 5mm hook or whatever size hook you would like to use. That's what I like to use. And you'll need some darning needles. Also, please bear with me. I'm using a new camera and this was my first time really getting to use it, so it takes me a little bit to learn how to focus it, but it does get better. I'm still learning it, but yeah. So with that, let's get started. I will quickly go over how to make your bralette cuffs. So to start off, you're going to make a slip knot. And you're going to chain 12. If this is too fast for you, I will link the bralette cuff tutorial I mentioned right here, so you can follow along with something that's a lot slower. Once you get your 12 chains, you're going to single crochet into the third chain from the hook. So right here. A single crochet is insert your hook, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through two. And you're going to put one single crochet in each stitch until the end. Once you reach the end, you should have something that looks like this. And then you're going to chain one, turn your work, and then we'll place one single crochet into the very first stitch, and continue placing single crochets in each stitch for the next 9 stitches. Now we're going to be doing our increase, which is going to be an increase of 3. So you'll see that you have your 2 stitches from the very beginning that you skipped over, and you're going to insert your hook right in between those. So there's like a little space there that you can go inside of. And you're going to place 3 single crochets into that little space. Again, if any of this doesn't make sense, go ahead and watch my full bralette tutorial where it's nice and slow and you can actually see everything that's going on. Once you finish that, just place 1 single crochet in each of the stitches that are left all the way to the end. And you can see right here that there's the little space. I like to go in between that top loop and the bottom loop. I just like the way it looks. You don't have to do this, but in case you want to, that's the little spot that I'm talking about. Once you reach the end, you should have something that looks like this. So you've got your one side, your increase of 3, and then the other side of single crochets. And for this, you're just going to chain 1, turn your work, go up the side, do your increase of 3 into the middle stitch, go along the other side, chain 1, turn, go back and forth with that increase of 3 in the middle stitch every time until you get your desired size. So now you should have a cup that looks just like this, and usually right here I would chain 1 and then cut my yarn, and then I would do the other cup, but for the sake of this tutorial I've already done 1 cup, so you can see that I chained 1, cut my yarn, and then I tied off. So this is where we're going to actually connect the cups. So I like to go along the edge by chaining 1 and placing 1 single crochet into each kind of stitch. They're not actually stitches, but you can see the little spaces for each row. So you're going to want to put a single crochet right into that. And you're going to place 1 single crochet in each one until the end. Right here I'm showing you how you want to put 1 single crochet into each row, so that way you can kind of judge where a stitch really is. And now I'm coming up to the middle, and you'll see that I have this extra piece of yarn. I will go ahead and show you how to crochet over that so that you can hide it. You don't have to weave it in at the very end. So you're just going to take that piece and lay it kind of on top of your work. Insert your hook into your stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. And you're just basically crocheting on top of it so that it weaves itself in. Once you reach the end, that very last stitch might be kind of hard to see, so I just like to go into that side stitch right there and place a single crochet. So now the edge of your cup, the very bottom of it, will look nice and even. And this is where we're actually going to connect our cups. So right here, you're going to make your chains. I did 3 chains. I usually do 2 to 3. And this is just that middle piece that will connect your 2 cups. So then you'll take your second cup. I just like to go on the side that doesn't have the excess yarn. You can use whatever side, it doesn't matter. So then into that very first stitch of your second cup, you're just going to place your hook and make a single crochet. So into your hook, into the stitch, yarn over, pull through, and then pull through 2. And then your cups are connected. So then you're just going to do the same thing that you did on the first cup. You're going to place 1 single crochet into each of the kind of stitches along the bottom until you get to the end. And again, once you get to that middle piece with that excess yarn, you can go ahead and crochet over it the same way you did the first time. So now you have your 2 cups connected just with a couple of chains. You could leave it like this, but I don't like to. I like to add a little bit of reinforcement right into those few chains that you have in the middle right here. So that's what I'll show you. So you're going to chain 1 and then turn your work. And then you're going to place 1 single crochet into each stitch until you reach your middle chains, your chain 2 or 3, whatever you did. Now once you reach your middle chains, you will want to make sure that they're not twisted. That can happen really easily, but just make sure they're not twisted. I also accidentally skipped a stitch right here, so make sure you go into that very last one before you go and do your single crochets around your chains. So I like to just go around the chain, just do a single crochet, and I do as many single crochets as I did chains. So since I chained 3, I'll do 3 single crochets around that little chain space. And then continue on placing 1 single crochet into each stitch until the end. And now you have your bralette cups connected, they're reinforced. You could keep going and adding more rows. For the tutorial I just did that 1 row, but I typically like to do between 3 and 5 rows depending on if I'm making just like a regular type of top. But when you get to the amount of rows that you want, you can make your straps. And I just start off where I finished, and I just make a chain of about 70 to 75 chains. That's going to depend on your size obviously, but for a size small I did 75 chains. Once you do your chains, you're just going to want to cut it and then pull your yarn through and pull it tight. And then I'll show you how I like to end my chained straps. I just pull it tight and then I make a little knot. But I use the the last 5 chains or so as the knot, so that it just kind of gives it a nice finished look. And then once you pull it tight, you can go ahead and cut off that excess yarn. And now we're going to do the other side. So you're going to find the other side of your cups and you're going to just connect your yarn. What I like to do is I just insert my hook, I wrap the yarn around the hook, and then I pull it through. And then I just make a little knot, or just like a one little loop, so that it's at least secure on there. And then you're going to do the same thing. So make your chain of however many you need. I did, again, 75 chains for a size small. And then once you have your cups connected, you have your 2 back straps, we're going to do the neck straps. So it's going to be the exact same way that you did the side straps. So let me pull it in so you can see a little bit better. You're going to be inserting your hook into that second stitch of your 3-stitch increase. So you can see that there's 3 stitches. Here's the first one, and then there's the second one. So that's technically your middle stitch. You're going to insert your hook into that middle stitch and connect your yarn. You're going to connect your yarn the same way you did with the other strap. So insert your hook into the stitch, wrap your yarn around it, pull it through the stitch, and then just make a little knot. And then insert your hook into that same stitch and then make your chain. So for the neck straps, I tend to do a little bit less than the back straps. I did about 65 to 70 stitches, and that's being pretty generous. I like to make sure that I have enough. I'd rather have too much than too little, because you can't add more once you've already made your knot. So I did about 70 stitches or 70 chains for this. And once you have as many stitches as you need, you're going to do the same thing where you cut your yarn, pull it through and pull it tight, and then make that little knot at the end. Sometimes I forget that the yarn will just snap, so if that happens, no big deal, just cut off that little piece that gets left behind. And now you'll connect to the other cup the exact same way. Do your certain amount of chains. I did, again, 70 chains. Cut it at the end, make your knot, and then cut off the excess yarn. And then once you finish that, you can go ahead and weave in your ends. You'll have quite a few of them, but sometimes that just happens. But I really hope that you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.